This is Friday night 9-ball again, and we'll have a quick look at, well, we will have a quick look in a minute, hang on a sec. We'll have a quick look at the players that are in it so far. I think we had 8 or 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 got in. The bracket's up. It's a race to 7, remember, on the winner's side. And what we got? We've got Mr. Bill playing Yamaguchi Taru. That's going to be a good match. We'll watch that one because that's the only first round match that we have. And Mr. Bill is getting a 7-ball, and we'll see all these other second round matches are about to take place. So we will go in and watch the Mr. Bill Yama match. That's 2 good players, so we expect a good match there. And it looks like I'm first in. We've got a green bar for stream health. It looks good. Maybe I'm in the wrong room. I'll go back out. I'm worried I'm in the wrong room. Hang on. No, the room's up. Mr. Bill. Now, the strange thing is, and the strange thing about both is that Mr. Bill isn't here, and neither is Yamaguchi Taru. Now, what's going on there? Well, that'll be a bit of a disappointment if neither of them show up. Anyway, the other second round matches that are up and running are Potman against a Hero Men Kill, Seni against Wizard Cheat, and Wink at Me against Andre Hegus. And now somebody else must have a bye then. Well, mind you, tell a lie, that's because they've all got buys because there's one first round match. Now there's something wrong there. Mr. Bill 2000, what's that, 29,008. That's some sort of weird bug in the bracket. This will really be strange if neither of the two of them are going to show up. It'll be strange if they forfeit their first round matches. Right, well, no point in waiting there. So what we'll do is we will go in and we'll look at the Wink at Me Andre Hegus match. Before we do that though, we'll look and see what the handicap is. Now what the hell does that say there? Is that the 5-ball he's getting? Andre Hegus is getting a 5-ball as his extra money ball. So we'll drop in there. I was looking forward to that Mr. Bill match, but nothing can be done about it if they don't turn up. So already Andre is up by 1 rack to 0. And Wink at Me's got a 2,200 rating. Andre Hegus 1942. And Wink at Me's went for the reverse bank. No joy, but he's got cover. Now, thing I usually always check is my little doodle thing. Hang on a minute. Let's just check it's working. Yep, that's working okay. So race to 7, winner breaks. Before each match there's a lag for break to decide who's going to break, and it is a handicap tournament, and the loser's side is a race to, I keep forgetting this, is it a race to 5 or a race to 4? Race to 4 on the one loss side. Now here's a chance for Andre. he needs to get a bit of spin in this to get over for that 3 ball on the left hand side, but it will squeeze past the 5. He wants to get fairly straight in this 3 ball if he can. That's probably pretty good. Now he can just stop the cue ball where the 3 ball is and he's on the 4, but the only problem with that is he's going to have too high an angle. He wants to try and get maybe even past that 8 ball. It's probably worth the risk, just rolling through. Try and leave the 4 as straight as he can. And he doesn't want to go too far. I think he's okay. That'll do it. Now, this is where, having watched Andre play a little bit, he's probably a bit like myself where, you know, he'll pot 1 or 2 balls and then just lose the plot. But anyway, only needing the 5 ball, he only had to pot the 2 balls there to get onto the 5. So he's now up by 2 racks to 0. And no joy in the break. Now the only thing here is he's left a shot for Wink at Me. As you can see, entirely the wrong angle on the 1, so he's going to have to spin this cue ball and work it right around the table. In behind the 7 ball. But totally missed the 1. Does that 1 go past the 5? No, it doesn't. And it goes long, obviously, into this bottom corner pocket, but I'd be looking for cover behind that 2 and 9 there somewhere. Well, I think he sort of made a half-hearted attempt at the 1, but was more interested in keeping it safe, which he's done. That's the most important thing there. Keep the opponent under pressure. Now, if this spins, oh, that's not bad. It'd have been even better if he'd got the cue ball behind the 6, but it's still a full ball snooker, although there's plenty of room to spin past the right hand side of this 3 ball as we look at it, and then spin into the back of the 1. You don't want to hit this too hard, you just want to punch the 1 up the table somewhere, and hopefully it might end up behind those balls up there. Well, he's going by the rail. I don't know why he's not trying to spin to kick it up. He's only hit it an edge of the 1, and lo and behold he's scratched. So this is going to be a test for Wink at Me. He's 2 racks to 0 down. He's the, well, going by the rating, he's the stronger player, so let's see how he breaks out this 7 and 8 ball here. And of course, to break out the 7 and 8, the 6 ball is not in a good position to be able to do that. And the 5 ball, of course, he's going to have to make sure he doesn't hook himself to get on the 6. Now straight away, that's a poor shot. No position in the 3. Pockets blocked by the 5, and it doesn't cut into the middle either, I don't think. Well, there's sort of a half a pocket there. So he's just looking to get it safe, and that's pretty good. In behind the 9, but there's plenty of room to jump over that. Now, does that 3 go past the 4? Yes, it does. The problem with this thing here is at this distance, when you jump, you don't have a lot of power in the cue ball when the cue ball eventually gets the object ball. And if he pots this 3, he needs to have enough power in the cue ball to get back up for the 4. And you can see what happened here. I mean, he got the hit in the 3, but he didn't get on the 4. But he'll not be bothered about that because he's got his opponent hooked. Well, good evening to anybody that's watching the stream. This is Virtual Pool 4 online, which you can download the free online version from Solaris.com. So this is the target here, how to break out those two balls. Now Andre doesn't want to be trying to take risks like that just now, because he's still got to pot he's just got to pot the 5 to win the rack, so he's just going to keep, well, that's a poor one, Andre. That's a bad one. A simple 4 ball to leave himself on the 5, and he's just hung it up. So now Wink at Me's got the chance to have a go. Well, he's taking the risk. He's got the split, and he's got a shot in the 5. It was risky to do that on that particular shot, because you're just relying on a bit of luck to get on the 5 ball. And of course, if Wink at Me pots this 5, that's Andre's extra money ball gone. Well, there's a mistake again. Now, if Andre just pots this 6 ball dead weight, that 9 ball's going to take a lot of the pace out of the cue ball, and he'll have a shot in the 7. Again, the problem is he's going to have too much angle in the 7, and he's going to have to work the cue ball to get across for the 8. So this, I wouldn't be hitting it hard. I'd be hitting it soft and rolling it in, and just running off that 9, trying to hit the 9 as full as I can. And he's tried to draw away from it, and he's tried to get clever, and he's got away with it. In actual fact, it's worked out pretty good, because he just needs to again roll the 7 in dead weight and try and keep that cue ball as close to the rail as he can, maybe a slight angle, and that way it makes it easier for rolling the 8 ball in. Oh dear, you can't miss those. You've had 2 good chances here, Andre, and I don't think you're going to get another chance this time. Missed a sitter of a 4 ball, and he's missed a very simple 7, and I think he's paying too much attention to the 8 ball there. Well, this is still no gimme, this 8 ball. Just got to get it clean and get it past that jaw. Cue ball's going to come out for the 9 anyway. So Wink at Me's going to get off the mark, but it should be 3-0. Well, I think 3 balls have gone in. Well, 2 balls have gone in, plus the cue ball's 3, so that's a scratch. And once again, Andre, well, he's got a problem straight away, because he's going to have to pot the 1 and get down onto the 2 and then get back up the table for the 3. And this is where players under the 2000 rating might struggle, where better control of the cue ball is going to be maybe what they're limited with. So let's see how Andre copes with this one. Now, if he's drawn off that 1, he needs to leave an angle in the 2, and he's done that. Now here's the one where there's plenty of room to go up that way. The worst thing that will happen is he's going to hit the 8 ball. Well, he's let it run, whereas a stun would have been probably better. So now he's high in the 3. And remember, the 5 ball has gone, and that was one of Andre's money balls. So he's going to have to run the table here, and it'd be quite a good thing if he did it. Well, now that 9 ball is in the way and it's blocking one of the pockets for the 8 ball. So that makes it more difficult for Andre here. He's got to get behind that 8 ball. So you've got to plan ahead. Now ideally, he's done it again. He's hung up the 4. So the mistakes are coming from Andre. He's had his chances and he could have had a decent lead in this match, but he's maybe just given away another rack. And this is just going to be a straight soft roll in the 8. Nothing spectacular, and likewise with the 9. So now we've got a match that's tied up 2 racks all. And again, as I've said before, and I think last week, I don't know whether, I can't remember whether Andre was in last week's, but certainly Andre, I think, is a bit nervy in the tournaments. And this is where you've just got to remember you're playing the table. You just have to play the lay of the balls, and it's all up to you what you do. But you can't miss simple shots. And once again, there's a great chance here for a safety here. And that's what you should be thinking. Let's have a look at that 1 ball. Well, yeah, plenty of room to spin that cue ball right up the table here, but again he's gone for a bank in the 1 for no particular reason because he had no shot in the 2. So this is where Andre needs to think a bit more about his game here. There's no use trying to be a hero with like 8 or 9 balls still in the table and the table isn't in a good position to run out. Now, okay, I think he's got a bit lucky behind the 8 ball there, but he certainly didn't play that. So now he's earned himself a ball in hand here, and well, it's all about controlling the cue ball. And the problem with the 2 ball is there's a sort of narrow area to get a shot on that 2, and it's like round about here. Now he's gone a bit too far, you see, that's the problem. The narrow window was like there for that 2 ball, so now he's having to try and dig himself out a hole here. And that 2 isn't cuttable into the middle, so forget that. I don't think that cuts in, does it, at that angle? He's going to have to get that thin. He's probably going to scratch as well if he does. Well, in it goes. He's hit the 9. Where's the cue ball going? He's knocked 8 in as well, has he? No. Well, he's going all out for it, so good luck to him. Because even if he gets this 3 ball, the best he's going to have is a 4-9 combo if he plays it dead weight again just to hold for the 4. Right, well, it's going to have to be the 4 in the middle then. And then again, I get little roll through. He needs to roll through far enough, if not a wee bit more than far enough, and that'll give him a shot in the 5. He just needs to take his time. Let's have a look at what he's got here. Well, there's not a problem, I think. The only problem is he's dead straight. So he just needs to roll through to about the pocket. Well, he's actually created a slight angle there with a spin, and that's a good shot. So this time, no mistake, Andre gets the 5 ball and goes back into a 3 rack to 2 lead. So he managed to get it together there. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube does that. YouTube, whenever you join, some people join a live stream, it comes up with a crappy resolution, so you need to go to the little cog wheel at the bottom right hand corner of the live stream and then change the quality. It should be in 720 and 60 FPS. At least it will be once it's actually processed and goes up on my channel. Right, so Andre's on the 3. Needs to spin back far enough, and that looks a simple enough 5 ball. So there's the 2 rack gap again. So things have turned full circle again here for Andre. A quick rack there increases his lead. Three balls going into the top right there. He's got a shot in the 1. He's got another one in the 2. So the clever thing to do here is again just plan ahead. You stop the cue ball when you pot the 2, so you leave the cue ball here anywhere on that 4 just to roll the 4 in. Now he's run too far. He didn't kill that with enough, take enough pace off that, so now he's got himself straight out of shape. I mean the plan was there to get out of this rack. And now he's going to have to try an awkward cut in the 2 and still get on the 4. So he needs to come across the table, across and back across, and he's missed the 2 ball. And again he's gone too far. So now Wink at Me's got a chance. Now this still is not cut and dried, because that 7 and 9 ball are a problem. I mean the 7 goes into the corner pocket, but it's getting onto it that matters. I think I've got the hiccups now. Well, it looks like Wink at Me's going to get in behind the 6. Unless he plays it, there's far too much angle there. He's got to be playing the 6 from that end. Well, he's nudged into the 6. So now we're going the other way. And again the angle's far too great on this 6 ball, so he's got to finish somewhere to have a shot in that 7. And that's why he's missed the 6. Got himself pretty nigh perfect in the 7. And there's a nice little angle there for Andre. If he just rolls it through. Well, again he's trying to do something fancy that he doesn't need to do. Why is he trying to do things that you don't need to do? And you need to have a closer look at the angles, Andre, and see what you have. You had enough angle there to drop behind the 7 without having to draw into something and create something out of nothing. You didn't need to do that. But in goes the 7. How is he on the 8? Well, that's perfect. You just draw off that. Dead in behind the 9. Well, I think he's just trying to make things bloody hard for himself. I don't know why he's doing that. I mean, this is not a nice cut if you're twitchy. But in it goes. Well, it's easy to be critical of players, but for some reason some players see a shot a certain way, but the obvious thing was just to draw back behind the 9 and keep it simple and not let the cue ball start running around. Don't try and be spectacular when simplicity is the easy way out. But anyway, we've got what went down there? The 1 ball, the 4 ball, the 7 ball have all gone. And Wink at Me's now got a bit of a mountain to climb. Especially if Andre can get on this 3 ball. Now that needs to spin off the rail and come out. And that's pretty good. Now I don't know whether that's dead straight. Let's have a look. Well, he doesn't want to draw dead close to this 5. And that's fine, he's missed a 9. So this is going to be another quick rack. Now, did that Yamaguchi Taru and Mr. Bill match start? So this for 6-2. Right, let's have a look at the bracket. No. The two of them didn't turn up for some silly bloody reason. And Yama's forfeited against Larry as well. I don't know what's going on there. And the 8 ball has gone in. And a nice angle to drop in behind the 2. Let's see how his control of the weight goes here, because this is just a simple shot to drop onto that right rail and back out for the 2. He's left himself away at distance here. How's that looking? Well, again, there's a little angle there to push through in the cue ball and get it back up the table. As long as he avoids the 6 ball, he should have a shot in the 3. And he's managed to do that. Now, once again, the simple thing here is just to roll that 3 in. The cue ball's going to come through here and round here and out. And then you're going to have a shot to drop the 4 ball in. He's left it short here. Don't tell me he's hooked himself, for goodness sake. Look at the area that you had, Andre. You had this huge gap here to get that cue ball into. But having said that, well, it's ball in hand now, so unless Wink at Me does something completely stupid here, he should have another rack in the board. And Andre is, again, like I say, he's just trying his best to make things difficult for himself. Big area to get that cue ball into. So if anything, you overhit it, you don't underhit it. If you overhit it, you've still got a big window to get the cue ball in. So this time, Wink at Me gets it back to trailing by 3 racks, and he'll have the break. Now what Wink at Me needs here is a couple of balls down, and maybe run a couple of racks to see what a bit of pressure does again on Andre, but that's not going to happen. And there's a 2-9 there. Is he going to maybe risk the 2-9 combo? It's not dead set that, he's going to have to make it. But the shot is on. So you hit the 2 ball that side to send the 2 ball to that side of the 9. Not quite as much as that, but that's roughly what you should be lining up to do to make that combo and send a 9 in. And that's worked out perfect. Followed the arrows to a T, and it's match over. Andre wins the match by 7 racks to 3. If I can get out of the room now. Right, let's see. So Mr. Bill and Yamaguchi Taru, along with Larry, would have been the hot favourites for this tournament, but for some reason the two of them signed up and are no-shows. Well, that's really puzzling. Right, so the tournament goes on though. Larry is sitting there waiting on the winner of Popman and A Hero Men Kill. Popman's up by 4 racks to 3, and A Hero Men Kill is getting the 6 ball. We've got Seni, who's playing Wizard Cheat, and Wizard Cheat's getting 7 ball as his extra money ball, and Wizard Cheat's currently up by 5 racks to 4. And then of course the match we were watching there is Andre, who's through, and he's waiting the winner of that match. So we will go and join this match, because the winner of this match is going to be playing Larry next, and we'll see what's happening. So Popman at the table, and he's giving away the 6 ball to A Hero Men Kill. So the pressure's on Popman here because he's got to get on this 6, and that looks pretty good pace. And what the hell's happened there? Wizard Cheat wins by forfeit. Is that another one not turned up? Seni not turned up as well. This is going to be a good tournament this week. Well, that was a poor one by Popman. He's left himself way short in this 7, and that 7's tight in the rail. And it's very easy to hit that 7 on the way through and send it away from the rail, but in it goes. So Popman goes into a 5 racks to 3 lead. Dry break. Nothing on for A Hero Men Kill, so just a more than likely a push out. Well, that's one way of getting them. Well, I think I'd be looking for cover here off this. Thin off the 3 and try and get down behind the 6 and the 4 ball. I think he got that a bit thick, which is why he's finished short off the rail there. Now, A Hero Men Kill could go for the reverse bank, but he's only going to get one chance at it down into this bottom left. But he's decided to try and play safe. Well, now can you get the potting angle in that 3 ball? I think it's a bit touch and go whether he can. I think the 6 ball's slightly in the way. Yeah, I don't think that would go. Again, a hero man kill. He's trying to get that ball right down onto the rail next to the 6 and the 4, but he's failed this time. And that's left a shot on for Popman. Now, I wonder if he can get enough draw into this to get in behind the 4. He doesn't look as if he's playing draw at the moment. Well, he's nudged into the 6 and it's gone safe. Well, maybe the angle was too high to try and draw off that to hold for the 4. He could maybe billiard the 6 in, just go thin on the 4. Nope. Decided to play safe. Now, did that get to the rail? No, it didn't. Well, that was a bad mistake there. Well, provided a hero man kill can get this 5 ball away, he should have had Popman buried behind the 8. Now that's not tight, and more than likely Popman's going to jump this. You've got to get them tight on the ball to prevent these guys from using a jump stick. Of course, no real control over where the cue ball's going to end up. Now Popman's got to be careful here because he's 5-3 up, and this is a hero man kills extra money ball, so whatever he does here, he needs to get the 6 safe, because if he doesn't, it's just going to be a gift of a rack for his opponent. And this is why he's probably in two minds what to do here. He could play the bank in the 6 past the 7, in between the 7 and 8 up into the top corner. Now, I think he's got lucky here. That's going to get in behind the 9, is it? Oh no, well, it's just gone far enough. Well, a hero man kill there just took the bull by the horns and had a bash at it. You never know. He could have comboed the 9. There wasn't really much he could do there. That's overcut by quite a bit now. This time, the hero man kill's got a problem. The 9's blocking the bank. So, and this time as well, he's not got any cover at all. So here's Popman's chance. Now he could draw over to the right hand side of the 9 ball and leave a long 7. Again, he's letting the cue ball run, but in doing that he's forgot about the 6 ball. Well, it's a bit awkward, but he should get this 6 ball. Oh dear. No, not a good effort. Remember your shot clock, you've got to use up that time to get yourself lined up. And that's maybe one that's got away there. When you're only needing the 6 ball for the rack, you take your time. Oh dear, well, now it's gone flipped in its head here. A gift for a hero man kill. And now there's only one rack in it. And he has the break in rack number 10. And nothing again. Well, Potman should have him in trouble here unless he's going to go for the cut in the 1. He's going to hit the 2 ball as well, but again, just you're riding in luck here. And the 2 ball's gone safe. Now, he can use the 3 ball as a stopper if he thins the 2. He's got those 3 blocking balls there. And he's missed it. He's missed a hit in the 3 there. He was wanting the 3 as a stopper. And not only that, he's going to scratch. Well, that was the right shot to play. To get that thin on the 2 to hit the 3, but he actually missed the 3. But the worst possible outcome was actually letting the cue ball run and scratching. So let's see if a Hero Men kill can tie the match up now. An excellent opportunity. How does that 6 ball look past the 8? Well, that is far too tight for any sort of comfortable shot in that. So he's going to have to work here. Now, is he convinced that that 6 goes past the 8? Well, it does, but it's off the far jaw, and he's tried to play the combo and he's missed it. And that's good weight. Dead behind the 7. Of course, the problem again is getting control of the cue ball off the 8 ball and getting up onto the 9. It all looks too easy when you look at it here. When you're playing these shots at distance, the control that you have with the cue ball is very difficult to judge. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good pace. So, Potman now sitting on the hill, leading by 6 racks to 4. And remember, the winner of this match is going to be playing Larry next. This will be the first match that Larry's got to play tonight. His first 2 opponents, or 2 possible opponents, have mysteriously disappeared. Now again, does that 2 go past that? Well, the 2 doesn't, so there was no value in potting that 1 ball unless you could be 100% certain of getting on the 2. And he's, well, this might be a short rack here. Potman can jump that to 8 and he'll be playing the 2-9 combo. And he's just going to line it up. Now you look at those balls where they're sitting there. These balls down here, we'll get my little doodle thing to work right. These balls here were good cover. So instead of potting that one, he could have spun the cue ball over here and behind them. Try and look for cover. But anyway, the match is over. That's what happens. Played the wrong shot and Potman's won the match by 7 racks to 4. And this time Potman's the one that's going to have the handicap. Going into the match with Larry, we'll have a quick look at the bracket, and I need to update this refresh speed thing. And Wizard Cheat is 2 racks to 0 up against Andre Hagus. Wizard Cheat's getting the 5 ball, so we're going to join the Larry and Potman match. Larry's already in. Potman Should just be joining him in a second. And Ahiramen Kill's through to play Yamaguchi Taro in the one loss side, so Ahiramen Kill's going to get a bye in that match because Yama has disappeared. And Popman's maybe taking a bathroom break after that match. So we will join the room. Larry's sitting there waiting. Now Larry's 2,396, so he's probably going to be giving away the 5-ball here again, at least. Or maybe it could be a possible 7 and out, the handicap. It's difficult to judge now because the handicaps have been tweaked. They were a bit unfair. So we'll see as and when and if Popman decides to get in the room. He's still not in. Remember, you've just got 5 minutes to get yourself into a match room once the room is up, and if you don't, you will forfeit. How many forfeits is that? Seni was one that forfeited. He's signed up and he's not turned up tonight, so that's 3 people out of like a 9-man tournament, and 3 are no shows. Well, Popman must be sitting there waiting on his alert to join the room, and he's already had it. You get an audible notification to let you know that your tournament room is up. But the time is ticking, so Wink at Me's going to have a bye, and Ahiramen Kill's going to have a bye, so those are 2 results that are going to come through in a minute. And Wink at Me's already had a bye against Mr. Bill. So they're lucky if they're going to be playing any more than 2 matches in this tournament tonight. Popman has finally joined the room, and they'll be lagging off, so there'll probably be a slight delay while we join. Oh, they're just about to lag. I don't know who's lagging where. Probably Larry in the right. No, Larry must, I don't know, Larry must have been in the left. So Larry's won the lag. And, no, I'm right enough. The first thing I said, Popman is getting 5-ball. And in goes the 3 in the bottom left, bottom right corner. But, well, not a great table, but that 2-6 is going to be an easy combo. Larry again concentrating, getting behind the 2. He's forgot about the 1. Yeah, it's strange about Mr. Bill and Yama. That would have been a good first round match. I was looking forward to that, but They've not even shown for the second matches, so I don't know what the reason is. So Popman has to somehow get on this 4-ball. And he's dead straight in the 2. That's the only problem. He's going to have to try and squeeze an angle here. Well, no, he's decided to leave the awkward cut. And the other problem he's got is the angle in the 4's not great to get on this 5, and you have to go through maybe with a bit of top left English to try and push the cue ball off the rail back out for the 5. This is an awkward angle not only to pot the ball but to judge the spin. And you see there's the problem. He played that plain ball, and of course there was no way the cue ball was ever going to come out for the 5 playing it that way. But he's got away with it to a certain extent, although the thin cut's on into the left middle. So Popman didn't play the right shot there. If you're going to have an awkward shot like that and you're going to try and get to the money ball there, which was the 5 ball, you have to go all out to play the shot. And he needed left-hand English to push that cue ball off the rail and up the table. And Larry's missed the cut. Has he got away with it? Yes, he has. So this 4 ball is the crucial ball here. Well, this time Popman's not got away with it. And Larry can drop in behind the 5. He can drop across here and leave the 5 into the middle. Well, he's decided to try and get right around the angles and play it into the right corner. Well, that 5 went into the middle. Larry just gave himself more work to do here. And this is again an awkward angle. Very missable this. Very easy to send this to the bottom rail rather than into the corner pocket. You see, that just went in. And again, he wants to try and squeeze a wee angle here. You know, he's just drawn it out. Should be okay though. Now, I feel certain that Popman knew the shot to play on that 4 ball into the middle. It was a very, very tough shot, but why he didn't play it in such a way to get on the 5, I don't know. As it is, Larry's won the rack, and he's up by 1 rack to 0. Got a ball in the break, and he's sitting pretty good here. Now, Larry needs to get right over for this 5 ball. He needs to get over here. That needs to keep travelling. And the reason for that is it means he's got less to do with the cue ball. Now he's got a slight problem because he's got the wrong angle in the 5 and it's a little window to get into. And he's just managed to hold it. I think he's dead straight, so just a drawback. Now, is he going to run through? Because he's, again, it's a slightly wrong angle in the 8 ball just to make it a comfortable shot. He's drawn in behind it. That's a good shot. So everything's going okay so far for Larry. Comfortably up by 2 racks to 0. Five ball goes into the right middle. And again, what was that that dropped in? Was that the 4 ball as well? Well, that 3 ball's just done him an injustice there. Oh, I was thinking that was a 1 ball. It's a 9 ball. The 1 ball's at the bottom of the table. Now, if he misses a 6, that could be quite good. Just not enough pace. Well, the good thing about that is that the 5 ball's gone down. So that's Popman's money ball out the way, and he's going to have to run the rack now. So everything's going pretty good for Larry in his favour. Well, he needs some cover here, and I think he's got it. He'll be happy with that one. Now this is easy to come in behind a 5 and then go in off into that bottom corner pocket, so got to be careful with the hit. Well, he's potted it, and that's excellent. He'll be dropping across to the left here for the long 3 ball. Well, he's under hit it. He didn't stun it hard enough. And that's why he's missed the 3. So that's one where Larry's went out of shape there by not stunning the ball hard enough. Should have been right over to make that 3 a much straighter shot. But let's see how Popman handles the situation, because remember, his 5 ball has gone, so he's got to get the 3 ball in, get on that 6, and he's missed the 3, and that might be his chance gone. And Wizard Cheat has beaten Andre Hagus by 7 racks to 2. So Andre's moved across to the 1 lost side. And meanwhile, Larry's in no man's land here on a 6. And he's back in position. Managed to recover the situation. Well, it's beginning to look all too easy for Larry. Comfortable lead, 3 racks to 0. And dry break. And an easy starter for Popman. Nothing to do with the cue ball to get on the 2. Just make sure you get it off that rail. Now, if you're going to do anything, you leave the cue ball short so you've got a shot in the 3 from there. If you try and get clever and come up here, you could end up hooking yourself behind the 5. And he's managed to kiss the 7. So he's avoided that. Now this shot in the 3, I play with a little bottom and right hand English. It punches the cue ball back across this way. And that way you're on the 4. The only thing you get is you could go too close and be blocked off by that 8 ball. So again, it's better to underhit it and sort of leave the cue ball here. And that's good. Now again, there's one way to do this. Top and right hand English. Punch it off the rail there and down here. Lots of top and lots of right hand English. The difficulty here is the 9 ball's a bit in the way. Well, that's did him a favour there. He's got the kiss in the 9, he's sitting perfect in the 5. Nothing more you can say about that. And of course, he just needs the 5. So, Potman's off and running. Used his extra money ball there. And likewise for Potman. Dry break this time. Larry's got no shot in the 1, but Potman's going to be in a bit of trouble in a second. He can't squeeze behind that 7, can he? I think he can, believe it or not. I think he can. Is there enough room to get behind that 7? I think there's just enough room. It looks very, very tight. And that's why he's probably thinking better of it. And that's a good hit. It's still perfectly safe. And Larry trying to spin up. Well, he just hit it soft. I thought he was maybe trying to send a cue ball over to the left and up by the 8 ball. So Larry should be in trouble this time. And Potman didn't get the spin on it to avoid the 4. And Larry's going to cut this down the rail. No doubt about that. Cue ball's going to be over to the left hand side of the table for a shot in the 2. I'm getting tired, folks. Again, just a reminder that unfortunately my cut-off time has to be 10:30, so we've got another hour and 20 minutes to go. And we should be deep into the tournament anyway by then because of the forfeits. Now, of course, with this shot that Larry's about to play, he needs to get that side of the 5 so that he can pot the 5 and come up with a 6. And you can see that he's underhit it by a fair bit. So now the problem he has, he's cutting it back into the middle pocket. The cue ball's going towards the 9. He's going to have to rely on luck to get on this 6. He's going to have to, because it's a thin cut in the 5, I don't think he can avoid hitting the 9. Well, that's why he's played it soft, to try and just leave a long 6, but in doing that, well, I think he played the pot. I don't think he played the snooker, but he's got away with it to a certain extent. But there's still a big gap there. Potman could jump that 8 ball, no problem. Now, of course, pressure's now immediately on Larry because now he's not got a great shot in the 5. He can play the bank, but if he doesn't get it, he's more than likely going to hang it up for Potman. And he's going to double bank it. And likewise with the 6 ball, same thing. It's thin to cut, so he's more than likely to bank either a direct bank up to the top left or a double bank down to the bottom left. Let's see what he does. Meanwhile, that 8 ball and 9 ball are not sitting too pretty. Well, this time Larry, I think he's hit it a bit too hard. But of course, with the 5 ball gone, once again, Potman's going to have to clear the table here to win this rack. Now, you've got a bit of a dilemma in potting this 6. If you leave the cue ball short, you can punch the 7 in and leave the cue ball on the 8 there. That's actually going to fluke. Is it going to get there? No, it's not. Now that is dead straight, so Larry's just going to come straight back up here. Is he? Well, he's trying to spin across. Has he got enough angle there? I think he's finished dead straight in the 7 as well, has he? Well, let's just draw back a couple inches, he's fine. So that's one that's got away there for Potman. So Larry opens up the gap again. Back into a 4 racks to 1 lead now. And the 8 ball has gone in the top right. The 4 ball, or was it the 2 ball? 2 balls went into the left middle. But of course, oops, wrong button. No shot in the 1. Although if he jumped at 5 ball and he got really lucky, he could actually pot the 1, but there's far too much traffic there. Tournament's been going for an hour and 7 minutes. We'll have a look at the bracket in a minute, just to see exactly where we are. Right, Potman is now on the 3 ball, and we'll have a look and see where things have gotten to here. Right, well, we're way over on the 1 loss side. We've got Wink at Me sitting there waiting. We've got a Hiramen Kill playing Andre Hagus, and they're at 1 rack all at the moment. We've got Wizard Cheat waiting on the winner of this match that we are watching right now. And that's all that is happening in the tournament. And that means that Larry's now a strong favourite to win this week's tournament. That's gone a bit too far. He's going to scratch. Too much juice on it, Larry. Well, that should be a gift for Potman. Just pot the 4 and get the cue ball out into the middle of the table to run that 5 into the middle pocket, unless he just stops it there and leaves it long, but he's got plenty of room to go on the 5. So, Larry now leads by 4 racks to 2. In goes the 7 ball in the right middle, 8 ball in the top left, 6 ball in the right middle. And of course, you've guessed it, no great shot in the 1. That 1 does cut into the middle. It does go, but he's not going to have a great shot in the 2. He needs to brush off that 5 to hold, to leave a long distance shot in the 2, and he's done it. Well, the 2's off the rail, which makes the shot easier. And he hasn't got to forget about this 3 ball though. So you need to get enough pace into it. Well, you see he's underhit that. that cue ball needed a lot more pace on it to get back out into the table to have a shot in the 3. He's got the bank if he wants it. Oh, now he's going to scratch, is it? No. Well, Larry's got the long jump. He's got no real other option here but to go for it. Now this could be maybe a turning point in this match here if Larry doesn't get this 3 ball. He's missed the 3. And the 3 ball's going to the side rail and it passes the 5. Now this could be a turning point either way, especially if Potman gets this rack. He's got a glaring opportunity here. And he's on the 4 into the left middle and it should be home and dry. So, from 4-1 up, Larry's only going to be 1 in front by 4 racks to 3, and Potman breaking off in rack number 8. No joy once again, but no shot for Larry. What's he thinking here? He's trying to cut this one in. No, just going for cover. Now that's a great opportunity for a safety here for Potman. Get that yellow ball, punch it to the side rail there, down here, get the cue ball in behind the 4 and the 7. He's gone the other way and he's just left it open. Well, not a great safety shot, has to be said. Well, this is going to be awkward, but it should be a simple enough roll in. Nothing to do with the cue ball. It'll be on the 3. Get the cue ball up to there. Oh. Well, Larry stunned that more than anything else. He needed a little bit of draw, not as far as that though. You could have drawn it up to about there and been on the 5. And Potman, if he gets this bank on the 4 and gets the cue ball off the side rail and around the corner behind the 7, should have a shot in the 5. In goes the 4. He's went around the corner and he's got a shot in the 5. Now, got to be careful here. If he runs this through, he could come off that 9 and scratch, so he doesn't want to bang this in. And he's done it. So we're all square. And that was a bad shot by Larry there in the 4. Hit it all wrong. Another dry break. How does that 2 ball look? Well, the angle in the 1, the cue ball's going to go that direction anyway. You come to about there. If he just runs it through, is he drawn it across? And he stunned it across. Needs to avoid the 9. Oh, not the best shot you've ever played, Larry. And that all came about from the fact he ended up dead straight in the 2 ball. Dug himself out a corner there with the jump stick though. Now this should be an easy enough run out for Larry. All about getting onto that 7 ball. And ideally he wants to get that cue ball over to about here. So he's playing the 7 ball that way, because that makes it easier to drop the cue ball in behind the 8. And that is pretty much on the money. That's the perfect angle. Drop out behind that 8. Now again, Larry's under hit it. And that needed to go over another 2 or 3 inches to the left. And this is just creating a slight problem again. But managed to retrieve the situation again. So Larry now gets his lead back. 5 racks to 4. And something went into the right middle. I didn't see what it was. What was it? The 5 ball. And a shot on the 1. But nothing doing in the 2. Well, Larry can certainly bury Popman behind the 9 here. And he's got it tight. So Popman's just got the bank off the left rail and might get lucky here. Could push that 2 in. Well, he's left it pretty safe. But he should be in trouble again if Larry gets this cue ball in between the 7 and the 6. Use the 7 and the 9 as cover. Where's the 2 ball going though? It's going over the pocket and he's left it open. Remember though, Popman's 5 ball was sunk on the break. So Popman has got the hard work to do in this rack. If he's going to win it, he's going to have to run it. Well, it looks straight enough, so it's just going to be a straight draw back here for the 4. What's the angle like? He's dead straight. It is not good. Now he could bash this 4 in with a lot of bottom and left hand English. And if he does that, the cue ball comes back and it hits the rail and it punches up that direction. Now he's just played it plain ball. Now I don't know whether it's Popman's lack of knowledge or not, but he could have made that a lot easier for himself by getting the cue ball up to about there where Madonna is. But he didn't play it with the bottom and left hand English. You've got to be brave enough and confident enough to play your proper positional shots in any game, but Especially 9 ball where you've got one target ball to go for. You've got to play better position. And he's just left that open. And this is just like a free out here for Larry. But Popman had his chance. Played the wrong shot. If he'd executed the correct shot there, he would have had a much, much better shot in the 6. And Larry's just going through the motions here. Just a stop shot in the 8. And Larry's now on the hill, leading by 6 racks to 4. So that might, it's difficult to judge Popman. I mean, he's sitting there in a 2,123 rating, which, you know, most of that might have been gotten in challenge rooms. But if you're a 2,000 player, then in my personal opinion, you should be able to, and not only able to, but you should know the shot that you have to play there to get on that 6 ball. And it didn't meet the requirements. He just played a plain ball draw. And the cue ball's only ever going to go in one direction. It's only going to go backwards. It had to go backwards, and the left-hand English would have punched the cue ball up the table towards the 6 on the left-hand side. And that's why Popman's now trailing by 6 racks to 4. And not a good shot in the 2 either, because he's way, way short in the 3. And this is where you'll get found out. You can have as big a rating as you want by playing in challenge rooms, but when it comes right down to it, and it comes right down to it in a tournament, and when you're playing a player like Larry, if you come up short, then he's going to take those chances because he knows the shots to play. That's the difference. Now this shot here, you could draw off the 3 and the cue ball will go over to the right between the 4 and the 7. You've got to be careful though, because you should be on the 4, but there's always a danger of being hooked with this shot. See, he stunned it and he didn't get into it enough. That's why he stunned across and hit the 4. He needed to draw it a bit more to finish the bottom side of the 4 as we look. So he's left himself the bank. But he did, again, he's not gone far enough. Gonna have to jump it. And if he doesn't hit this hard enough or get any pace into it, he could be hooked behind the 7 or the 8 here for this 6. And he's managed to get the power. And I think this match is all but over. Just got to get from that 8 ball to the 9. Oh dear, well, commentator's curse. But Larry's got away with it. Has he got away with it? No, he hasn't, because that 9 ball's a good marker. That's a good marker for Popman to cut the 6. Well, is the match over? That remains to be seen. Right. This shot I'd be playing with a bit of top and right English. And this time he's played the right shot. Which then sets me thinking, why didn't he play the right shot to get on that 6 ball in that last rack? So we've still got a match on here. Popman gets 1 back. That saves 1 of his lives. And he's breaking off in rack number 12 and needs a ball or 2 in the break. Doesn't look as if he's going to get it though. And what What's more, Larry's got a shot in the 1, albeit a long one, and not a great angle to go on the 2. And there's a result from the one lost side. Andre Hagus has beaten a Hero Men Kill by 4 racks to 3. And that's not a bad shot. He's gone a wee bit too far, but he should certainly still cut this 3. And the cue ball is going down the table and should at least have a shot in the 4. And he's managed to hold the pace of it pretty well. And Larry played that with a lot of draw and inside English, left-hand English, to check it off the bottom rail, to stop it going round to the right behind the 8 ball. He squared the cue ball up, which brought it into the middle of the table. But he's going to have to work again here off this 5 to get back over for the 6. And I think, well, it needs to go another few inches. This is awkward. This is a tester, and he's not got a great angle to go on this 7. He's going to have to probably play the 7 long. If he tries to get down in the 7, again there's a dangerous scratching in the middle pocket, so Larry has thought wisely and decided the safety is the better option. Now, having said that, no prizes for guessing what Potman's going to do here. That's a good jump. Cue ball's going to stay on the table. And if Potman can hold his nerve and get on this 8 ball, we could have a hill match here in a minute. Oh dear. And I've done it again. I put the curse on him, but he's got away with it. That's a little bit of luck you need. And this is not an easy shot here to get safe. Larry's best chance is just to roll right up onto the 7 and not hit it hard. He could possibly try to roll onto it dead weight. Well, he's gone for an edge, but all he's done is tee it up. Once again though, you've got a ball that's close to the pocket. A very strong likelihood of drawing off that rail into the middle pocket here. That's always a danger. When the cue ball goes to the rail, you come across here to get on the 8 ball, there's a danger of getting off. He's avoided that. And he's gone the other side of the 8. And he's got a shot. So there's 2 things to think about. The potting angle of this 8 ball and the pace of the cue ball. And the cue ball has to come down and up to have a shot in the 9. You've got to hit this hard. Well, he's hit it hard enough because look at the pace in the cue ball, but he's missed the 8. And this match is all over, folks. That was Potman's last chance. And Larry just completing the formalities here. A roll in the 9. And Larry wins the match by 7 racks to 5. And Larry's going to be playing Wizard Cheat in a minute. And Larry again will probably be giving the 5 ball away at least. If not a couple of balls this time, I would imagine. So, let's have another look. Well, that's going to update, and it has updated. Larry playing Wizard Cheat, and well, Larry's really up against it because Wizard Cheat's getting 5 and out. He's getting a full handicap. Meanwhile, on the one lost side, Wink at Me is about to play Popman. We've got Andre Hagus waiting on the winner of that match. He's going to be playing them in a minute or two. So what we'll do is we are going to watch this Wink at Me Popman match, because that seems a fairly evenly rated match, although Popman is getting the 8 ball, which I think, judging by the two players' ratings, seems a fair enough handicap. Now, Popman's in the room, and Wink at Me's in as well, so we'll join that match right now. And Popman's won the lag. Remember, it's now a race to 4. Popman's player 2, and he's getting the 8 ball. So that means that Popman's going to have to work to win a rack in this match as well. It's pretty evenly matched. There's going to have to be an early combo into this 3 unless he tries to bank the 2. Off the end rail, back up for the 5 into the same pocket, I think. Well, he's playing it soft. Again, we can see where the 6 ball is, and that's why it's all about trying to control the pace in the cue ball to go on the 7. And he's left himself way too high in the 7. Let's see what that looks like. Now you can get up and down the table with the cue ball, or you could leave a high cut in the 8. Well, he's actually controlled that very well. In goes the 9, and Wink at Me's off and running, wins the first rack. In goes the 2 ball in the top left, and he's got a shot in the 1. It goes into that pocket, no problem. Although, having said that, how the hell's he going to get on the 3? 3 ball doesn't go anywhere. So he just played the push out. No value in potting the 1 ball when you couldn't have a shot in the 3. But he's taking care of that situation by breaking up the pack that was there. Oh, good evening, Andy. Yeah, as soon as I saw you arrive, they decided to leave. Yeah, we had Yamaguchi Taru and Mr. Bill matched up to play in the first round in this tournament tonight, and neither of the two of them showed up. Very strange. So we're watching a one-loss side match here while Larry plays Wizard Cheat, and Wizard Cheat's getting 5 and out, and Larry's probably going to pay the price there. And I think that's a hot seat match. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it is. And Wizard Cheat's already up by 1-0. And Wink at Me is well out of shape here in this 6 ball. And he's going to scratch, and that's a gift for Popman. Remember, he just has to get to the 8 ball. Now, this shot that he's lining up there, that's a stun shot. You stun the 7, and the cue ball goes up to the table, up the right. He's played it with spin, you see, and that's not the right shot. So, Popman's played a couple of shots tonight that really set me thinking that there's a few things that he's lacking in his knowledge here. You know, there's no way he should be sitting in the middle of the table on this 8 ball. Okay, he gets the 8, but that is not the way to get it. You've got to play the right shot to get on it. But it gets him all square. Oh, we're back up to 10 again. Oh no, it's dropped to 9. As soon as I said 10, it dropped to 9. Right, so Popman breaks off in rack number 2. The 7 ball has gone down. He's got no shot in the 1. I'll just be looking at a decent enough push out here. And he'll be back at the table in a second because Wink at Me doesn't like the look of that. But there is a thin edge off this 1 ball. Now if you can get the thin edge and get in behind the 4 and get back up the table, the angle's there to do it. You get the thin edge, a wee bit of English on it, get the cue ball back that way. Well, he's played it plain, which is probably why he's going to leave his opponent a shot in the 1. And he needed to hit that harder to get the 1 ball off the rail and out that way, and the cue ball down here. So this is Wink at Me's chance to prove why he's a 2,200 rated player, because any 2,200 rated player should be running this table. And we all know why that happened, because he left himself 9 feet away from the 3 ball. A poor shot. Now if this misses the 4, well, it's got a nice little kiss on it. That's pretty good. So if you do anything here, you run right through at the bottom rail. Oh, he's drawn back to play this at distance. Now remember, you've got to get on the 6 ball. How does that look for angle? And now the cue ball's getting out of shape. We're going further and further away from the object ball. And this is a thin cut in the 6, and the cue ball's running back up the table, so he's got to play this dead weight to try and hold the cue ball from running. Or you hit it the right way, and that's again why he's overcut it. Simple shots that all go wrong because one starts going wrong and then the next shot goes even more wrong, and then before you know it you're way out of your depth. And Wink at Me's got another chance. Well, another life. He had no real shot there, but he's played a half decent safety. But I have to say that 6 ball looks a pretty good bank into the top right hand corner, or a double bank into the bottom right here. Right, more or less on that middle diamond there, and the end rail is always a sign that it's a good bank, and it's going to double bank if it misses the cue ball, and it has. So just the 8 ball will take Popman back into the lead. And we're dry again. Now, what's it look like from Wink at Me's point of view? Well, if he gets a good thin edge, he can get the cue ball right down the bottom end of the table here. He actually got that too thick. He needed to feather that 1 ball a lot more. Well, again, that 1 ball looks a reasonable bank. He should have a shot in the 2 if he gets it. And he could have a double bank in off that 6 ball. Doesn't look as if he's playing it though. Is he trying to cut it? Yeah, he tried to cut it. Just roll the cue ball through far enough to a shot in the 3. No. It's just a right enough angle there. Just a reminder for all latecomers, Friday night 9 ball at this time of year for me, with it starting at 8 o'clock BST. The unfortunate thing is that my cut-off point is in 45 minutes time. That's when I have to get to Beddy Buys. I'm up at 4 AM, and if the tournament isn't finished by then, that's unfortunate. But that will be the time I have to pull the plug, folks. He's left at it distance as well. A nasty one. And that's what happens. That's what happens in the tournament table. An easy roll in on the 9 for Popman. As long as he doesn't do anything daft and follow it in. So a gift for Popman there, breaking off in rack number 5 on the hill. And I'm checking the stream quality. I'm showing green. I hope the stream looks okay your end, guys, for those that are actually speaking. Now, the 7 ball's going in on the break. And this is certainly not a good rack to be trying to run out, because the 3 ball's doing nothing. It's nailed to the rail, more or less, give or take half an inch. Now, I wonder if Potman can play the billiard here and try and just edge off that 3 and hit the 4. Very likelihood of a double kiss here, though. Yeah, he tried it. He's okay, though. Remember, that 9 ball doesn't matter to Potman. What matters is the 8 ball sitting there in the open. And he's going to have a chance here, I think. That 3 ball's running. Now, Potman needs to be wise here, because if he lets this run, he's going to run into the 6 ball. And that's why he's now having to play a thin one in the 4. He doesn't want to hit this hard. If he comes up past the 5, he'll leave the 5 into the same pocket as the 4. There's a danger that he could roll into the 5, but he might get lucky. Well, he's avoided all of that. And he's actually finished the perfect side of the 5. He can just roll through it. And this looks as if it should be all over. As long as he rolls through straight enough on this 6 ball and not leave himself below it, he should be okay. Well, you need to just dig that cue stick up in the air and get some stop on it and just punch the 6 in and leave the cue ball where the 6 is, and then just roll the 8 in, and the match is all over. And he's not trying to steal any angle here, because he's dead straight. He's got to jut it up. Get yourself lined up and get the butt end up and just stun it in and kill it. Well, he's made a right bloody harsh of that. Oh dear. Well, I'll tell you, if Potman loses this match now, he's lost it in that shot right there. That's what's called making a total arse of it, that shot that he just played. No forgiveness for that. He had the match at his mercy. He had 2 balls to pot. Okay, he was dead straight in the 6 and he was fairly close to the rail, but you just jut the cue stick up and you punch the 6 in. You're dead straight, so it's just a matter of lining it up. And meanwhile, Winketme's got the rack back. He's trailing still by 1. He's got the 4 ball in the break. He's got a shot in the 1. And as I've said before, any 2,200 rated player with the table the way it is should be running this table. And straight away, he's made a complete mess of that one. And I think that there was a bit of frustration, but really no excuse for it whatsoever. Well, Potman, although you're still in the lead, you've got a lifeline here. You're definitely on the 6. Now, you look at the angle that you've got in the 6 here. The cue ball's running away from the 7. Now, how far up the table can the cue ball go and still have a cut on that 7 ball? Yeah, well, you can go up to here. But the cue ball's going to end up over here somewhere, so you've still got a cut in the 7. You've got to hit it hard enough though. You've got to hit enough pace in it. Well, I don't think he can get right in behind the 7 if there's a lot of English on it. Oh, he's managed to catch the edge. You should be happy with that. That's left Wink at Me in a very difficult situation. Well, there's no way he's cutting that in. So we just got to look at trying to get this safe. Now, you could feather that left edge of the 7 and punch it in behind the 9 and get the cue ball down the bottom of the table as we're looking. And he's hit it too hard, but he's okay. Now that 7's off the rail. Now you only need the 7 ball for the match. I think you go for the edge of it and you cut it in. And he's missed it. Is he going to get it safe? No, he isn't. So we could be tied up here in a minute, folks. And just remember, that goes back to that 6 ball that Potman had. The straight pot into the pocket and just kill the cue ball to hold for the 7. And we could have been on to the next match 5 minutes ago. And now as it stands, we're 3 racks all. We've got Wink at Me breaking off in rack number 7, the deciding rack. And he's come up dry. And look at the table. This table is perfect. You get the potting angle in the 1. Cut it over into the middle. Cue ball's going to go off the end rail and come back out into the table for the 2. You play this shot with a bit of top and right English, so the cue ball goes off that rail on there and back out here. Needs to keep moving though, needs a bit more juice. Right, pot the 3, cue ball off the left rail, back across towards the 8 ball, and you're on the 4. Now you could be really clever and draw up the table. Now that's what he's done, and if he'd missed that jaw, he'd actually far too much pace in it, but he would have been on the right side of the 4 to just get on the 5. Now can he avoid a scratch? I think it's touch and go whether he can avoid the in off here. Looks very dangerous, this shot. Now he's hoping he hits the jaw here, and if he's playing right hand English, he's going to punch across the right a wee bit, and he's actually got away with it. Still looking good. Now he needs to finish anything but straight in the 6 ball, because the 6 is on the rail. Why is he playing top? Is he trying to move the 6? Aye, now he's down at the bottom. Well, this could be potted by a firm stun, and the danger's rattling the ball in the jaws. So he's managed to get round behind it. That's a good shot. So Potman has eventually, I say eventually, you never know what might happen, but it looks like it's all over. Potman wins the match by 4 racks to 3. That ends Wink at Me's participation in the tournament. Oh shit, I forgot it's the 8 ball. I need to go to bed. You just used to roll the 8. Right. So one look at the bracket, we see that Larry has managed to recover the situation. He's now leading by 5 racks to 3, and if we look at the one lost side, we'll see that Andre Hagus is about to play Potman, and while that's going on, we're going to nip across if we can get this bracket to work, and we'll jump in and see what's left of the Larry Wizard Cheat match. And Wizard Cheat, sitting on 1600 rating, is getting a full handicap, and Larry's overcut the 4. And Wizard Cheat, we know how he plays. He's going to bang this 4 in, bank it into that left hand corner pocket, or double bank it, and if he holds the cue ball somewhere or other, he should have a shot in that 5 into the left middle. And it's not gone in. So this is a very strong likelihood Larry's going to run the remaining balls here. As long as he doesn't hook himself behind the 7. Well, Larry, okay, he could jump this bit. He could actually go over the off the table here. And he's played it okay. So this is to see who gets in tonight's final. And once this match is over, they'll be waiting. The winner of this match will be waiting on the winner of the Potman Andre Hagus match. So Larry now leads by 6 racks to 3. He's breaking off in rack number 10. And a couple of balls went into that right hand middle. How's he's locking the 1? Well, he's got a shot on it. So we've lost the 7 and 8 ball. So that's 2 of Wizard Cheat's money balls gone. This 1 ball isn't easy. And look at where the 1 ball's sitting now. Can Wizard Cheat see the 1? No, he can't. So at least that prevents him having a bang at the 1-5 combo. Well, there you go. How's that for luck? Nothing but a thin edge that Larry can see that 1 ball. And likewise for Wizard Cheat. He's right behind the 9. Well, it looks easier to get it off this bottom rail here. Well, he's missed that. 4 balls still in an awkward spot. Larry's got ball in hand. Now, a little soft run through for the 2 ball into the left middle. Needs to run below it, and he hasn't. And that wasn't a great shot by Larry. He needed to go. The cue ball needed to be here. So he left that 2 or 3 inches short, which is why he's miles away from the 3. Now, well, that'll save Larry any problems. In goes the 9. He's played a Wizard Cheat shot. And Larry wins the match by 7 racks to 3. So, bracket should be updated. There's Larry sitting in tonight's final. And all that remains is... in fact, I forgot what was I talking about. I was thinking that was the final. I forgot Wizard Cheat. Wizard Cheat's now in the one lost side final, and Popman and Andre Hagus are... they're still showing it 0-0. They're still in the first rack, and Andre Hagus is getting the 6 ball. So this is to see who plays Wizard Cheat in tonight's one lost side final. And Larry's going to have a break of about, I would say, maybe half an hour at least, so he can get a cup of tea, go to the bathroom, do whatever he wants. So Popman gets rid of the 6 ball in a second. That then forces Andre to sink the remaining 3 balls to win the rack if he gets a chance. And his chance might be coming now, because that's not an easy 7 ball. But in it goes clean. And likewise, the 8 ball is not a comfortable 8 ball to get on this 9. Let's look at that. See, the cue ball wants to hit this 9 ball, and this is where you've got to ride your luck. And he's managed to avoid the 9, and he's sitting pretty. Now, had that hit the 9 there, it could have all went pear-shaped. But Popman's up and running. 1 rack to 0 in the lead. Desperate to get a ball in the break here and get a shot in the 1 ball or whatever ball's next. In goes the 7 in the top left. But lo and behold, he's got no shot in the 1. However, he's got good chance of a safety here. Now, he needs to be careful with this safety. If he just pushes the 1 ball through like that, he's going to leave an easy kick here for Andre, and there's a strong chance he could kick the 1 in. Almost. How does that look from this end? Well, he can't push the 1 past the 6. He's going to have to push it. If he pushes it to the left rail, he can push it past the 6 that way, but then again, he's not hit it hard enough and given ball in hand. needs to slow up, and he's gone too far. So now you've got to retrace your steps here. You pot the 2 ball with such a pace that the cue ball finishes down here. You don't slam the 2 ball in, you just pot it with enough weight that the cue ball's going to travel down. And that's a good shot. And likewise with this one, the only thing that can go wrong here is you play it at such a weight that you finish behind the 9 ball. You can cut that out by going off there and coming out. And he's managed to underhit it, and that's okay. So Andre needs the 4, the 5 and the 6. And he's drawn back straight, and same as we spoke about earlier, top and right hand English sends the cue ball around the corner and round and out into the middle of the table. %100% you go for this shot. And that's good. Oh no, he's a bit too much juice. I thought he'd hit that with the right pace there. He's still got the cut though. Or if he wants the single bank or the double bank. Oh, he's overcut it. And that was again just the pace in the cue ball with that around the corner shot. Better control of the pace would have given him much easier position in the 6. Potman goes to the bank, but he's got no shot in the 8. And he might as well go for the bank into the middle here. That looks a good setup for a bank. Well, I think he's maybe thinking about trying to edge the 8 and maybe cover it with the cue ball behind the 9 here in the... No, he's went for the bank. He's still got a chance though, because Andre has to pot the 8 and the 9 now. Not an easy shot this. Oh, that's unlucky. And he finished pretty nigh perfect in the 9. Did everything right, but again with that distance and you're digging down, it only needs to hit one jaw and it's going to rattle and stay up. And where's the cue ball going this time? As it misses the 9, with a little kiss in the 9's done him a favour. Potman has a simple roll in into the middle for 2-0. So, again, Andre had his chance. Four balls going into the top right. Top left. No shot in the 1. Well, the old brain is in shutdown mode, folks. We haven't got long to go, I'm afraid. Well, that was not a good push out. You've got an open invitation there to your opponent. Potman taking a big risk. and it might pay off. Andre's run into the 8, left himself a tough one on this too. And he's hung it up. Potman can get good on this 3 ball. He's got a chance of running out. Well, he's in the middle of nowhere now. What do you do here? Trying to cut back into the middle. Very thin. I don't know whether that shot's on, is it? I think the cut is on, but it's very thin. The cue ball's all over the place if he goes for it that way. And he's waiting for it in the other corner. Maybe even just played safe. And he'll be happy with that one. Andre hasn't got it safe either. So Potman can just keep it together for these remaining balls. Well, straight away he's duffed a 3 ball. Well, Andre, you're never going to get a better chance to win a rack here. You've had 2 or 3 goes. Potman doesn't want to win the rack, so he's giving you another invitation to take it yourself. So Potman just needs the 3, the 5 ball, and the 6 to get a rack in the board, and that looks as if it's going to finish pretty good if it nudges the jaw. He's got an angle, albeit a slim one, but he can force the cue ball out to the right. And he didn't get any of the right spin on there. He needed a bit of right hand English to get over to the left hand side of the table, and he's leaving himself mountains here to climb to try and win a rack. But in it goes. Good shot. And he's got himself on the scoreboard. Now we've lost the 5 ball. We've got a very thin cut in the 1. Cue ball's going to be running into those balls up the table here. Well, all that matters there is he can at least see the 2. That's a good shot. And he's going to need an even better one off that bottom rail, not only to pot the 3, but to have any sight on this 4 ball. Now if he can get the cue ball over to the right hand side, over here, he can at least try and get a half decent safety. Well, he's gone all out. Is he going to get lucky? How's his luck? Well, that's okay. Now you play off the right hand side of the 4. Well, I'll settle for that. Oh, that was really lucky. He's got Potman hooked by the jaw. That's the kind of luck you need, though. Well, the good thing about that shot there with Potman is he didn't disturb those balls at the top end of the table. So that means that Andre's going to have to do something to disturb this 6 ball. Now, if he puts the cue ball... Well, I don't like that angle. Yeah, you need to be able to... You need to get it so that you're drawn towards the 6. Well, he's decided not to do that at all. Now he can't get the potting angle in the 6. So you use this 8 ball as a stopper and come off the edge of the 6 and get the cue ball right down here. In behind the 9 and down, and leave that 6 ball there. That's a shot to play. You might even get him hooked behind the 7. I don't know what he's doing, but it certainly doesn't look like what I'm suggesting. Is he trying to billiard the 9 in? That's what he tried. Well, I would have went for my shot. My shot sounds a lot better. You'd have got plenty of distance between the cue ball and the object ball. But Potman's not been left anything easy here at all. Let's have a look. Well, that 6 ball cuts. There's no doubt about that. Where the cue ball's going, you don't know. Needs to watch the clock here. Well, in the end, I don't know what Potman played. I don't know what he played, but I'll tell you something. He's almost got away with it. Now, Andre just needs to cut the 6. Well, that's a good shot. And we're tied up at 2 racks all. Well, folks, this is going to be my last match. I'd love to stay to watch the loser's side final and tonight's main final, but as I said, my time is very precious, and I'm afraid what beauty sleep I get isn't very much, but I definitely need to go to my bed at 10:30, so we've got about 10 minutes left. The 1 and 9 aren't a set combo or anything like that, so well, there you go. I'm going to have to watch that on the stream to see what happened here. The 9 ball went in off something. Now the stream seems to be at least 7 or 8 seconds slow tonight. It's usually a wee bit quicker than this. So Potman leads by 3 racks to 2. Got a dry break. Andre at the table. Cut back in the 1 to get him started. Cue ball's going to be running down towards the 8 ball though. So he's playing a lot of draw. And unfortunately, he's got no shot in the 2 either. And that 4 ball's a big distance. There's no way he can jump that, I don't think. He's going to jump into the 4 surely. No, he's played that well. That was a good shot. I did not think he could get over that 4. And Larry's popped in to see how things are going. And Andre undercut the 3. And this is Popman's chance. Again, you have to say the balls are all in the open. It's just about controlling the cue ball. Now the 5 goes past the 9. So the angle he's got in the 4 means the cue ball has to drop behind and behind the 5. Cue ball has to go there. So you're going to have a shot down that rail past the 9. And he's not hit it hard enough. I mean, you've got to at least overhit the shot. The worst you can do with that shot there is have left the cue ball out here somewhere. You still had a cut in the 5. He's just chickened out on it. And now he's looking to get cover up with the 6 and the 7 ball. Well, what's happened here? Well, we've got a 6-9 combo set up. If somehow Andre can pot this 5 and get on the 6, and the angle's there to do it, it's going to take a good shot though. This is not easy. And a fair bit of draw, I would imagine, as well. He could draw into that left middle. He's avoided that. He's held the cue ball pretty well. And now he just needs to focus on the angle of this 6 and 9. And he's played it well. Where's the cue ball going? He's okay. So we've got a final rack decider. Andre breaking off on rack number 7. What was that that's gone? 1 ball's gone in. Shot in the 2. No shot in the 3. And the 4 is tight on that right middle jaw, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's very, very close. No, there's a little gap. It's not as bad as I thought. Well, I think if you get the right position on this 4, and I mean, even if Popman hits the 8, which he has done, he can just drop this 4 in. It will just squeeze in and no more. Oops, wrong button. Yeah, that'll comfortably go into the middle pocket. And again, the perfect little angle in the 5. Can draw off the 5, draw out into the middle of the table, so a cue ball would go that way if he gets into it properly. And that's pretty good. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got a nice little angle. Now the only thing that's going to go wrong here is he's going to drop down here and go behind the 8 ball. So you just got to hit it a dead weight. Oh, he's missed the 6. Well, Potman. He's not got lucky because Andre can cut the 7 in. In fact, he only needed a 6. What am I talking about? I'm forgetting. Right, Potman, I'm afraid, made the mistake. Andre potted the 6 ball. Andre wins the match by 4 racks to 3. And he is now going to play Wizard Cheat in the one lost side final. And the winner of that match is going to move on to play Larry in tonight's final, which is a race to 9. And with that, folks, I'm going to have to say thanks for those that are watching. And hopefully I'll be back next week at some point. We'll see how things go. And thank you all for watching, and I'll bid you a good night.